Okay, in the second part of ethics and social responsibility in media and social responsibility theory of mass media, we are going to discuss its major features, examples, advantages, and disadvantages of social responsibility theory. And the last, we will conclude the this discussion about the social media. I'm sorry, mass media social responsibility. So major feature of social responsibility theories are private press ownership. So it is very important that private people should own the channels, or these media houses. It's not the government. In Pakistan, about 20 years ago, there everything was on. Then everyone thing was owned by, especially electronic media was held by the government, but no, it's deregulated and the private things come. So press is supposed to be owned privately. The government does not own the press. The private owner should publish within the ethical guidelines and its responsible way. So like we talk about ethical way and responsible, but the major thing is the ownership. Then helps democracy prosper. So as we see in the previous lecture, if they work rightly, mean ethically, so it is helping the for the democracy, and it is creating a equal opportunity for everything, and a equal playing field for everyone. Actually, I don't see they are creating, but their objective should be, or their ethical objective should be, to create a equal playing field for the everyone to participate in the democratic process of that particular country. Media helps in maintaining democracy and does not encourage authoritarianism or communism. So this is like because this theory is written in a Western, so they talk about that this press or this media is a one of the main pillar of any democracy. Media as a democratic institution, yes, media is the, like I explained you, is a part of democratic institution. Media is not a part of government. It must work on its own. It has the freedom to do anything that they want and just not work out of ethical standards. So it has the freedom to do anything they want, just not work out the ethical standards. So it means they can work any way they want to. They are free. They should be free. Then the next one is the number 4 is public participation. Yeah, it is very important. Public must get to the participate through comments, response, right, get involved in all aspects of media work. So they should be, I don't know, in Pakistan it's like that too, is like or not, but maybe they don't want one class have money and they have like media houses, and they propagate what they want to propagate, and there's no public or mass participation in that media. So public participation is also important. Then emphasis is on social responsibility. The media must be responsible toward the society. We talk a lot about that. I don't have to explain it again. Self-regulation in media, like I talk, self-censored. I talk about self-censor. So self-regulation in media. The media must have some boundaries within itself to be ethical. The regulations are to be followed by all media professionals involved in particular institutions. So they have to establish, self-regulatory, bodies in not by the government but by the media houses. So they should, but and for this reason in Pakistan they have some democratic, elected, bodies in the media. So they then code of ethics. All the media institution must have a written or unwritten code of conduct which should be standard followed by all. So this is another thing, like we have PEMRA is regulating the media in Pakistan. But again, in most of the country there is no such institutions. These media organization, they have their own body to set the standard for the things, and they say what is right, what we can show, and what we can tell and what we cannot. Then professional standard. The quality of publishing should be maintained. False interpretation of any information should be avoided. Yeah, it is very important. Professional standard mean they should set the standards which they're supposed to be as a media man, or as a media person, or as a media people. So media role of the next is the media role of criticizing government. Media is allowed to criticize government roles, work, and policies. It is done to help the government get better. So it's like we talk about constructive, positive criticism. It's not for criticism for the sake of criticism, but that's also another controversial thing. So what is positive or constructive, and what is negative or destructive? So for different people maybe have different meaning of same thing. So helping eradicate social problem, yeah, that's another thing like I discussed in the previous lecture. It is a job of social media to develop the society and to eliminate or to talk against the social evils. So media must speak against and aware people about social problem, as it is media's responsibility to work for the betterment of the society. Then pluralistic media includes ideas and people from different groups. Media must write the views of different groups of people and not only about a single group. It must never be biased. See, this is another very basic thing. So it should be pluralistic, mean they should have diversification. They let people talk about things, of course under some framework of things, but they let them talk. They have to say about their things in writing, in electronic media, in social media. Since social media, for this reason social media is very popular, because it is so much diversified and it is more freedom, kind of freedom. They are also restricting his freedom too, no, like, but it has social benefit. Number 12, so media must work for the society, not do the things they are beneficial to the society. I'm sorry, and only do the things that are beneficial to society. It should not write about the things that are ambiguous or contradictory, as those message might cause conflict in the society. Sometimes our media is for sensations which to create this excitement, and for their rating. Sometimes they create the news which are not true and which are not thoroughly checked. So it is very important that they should be not giving those kind of news which hurt the society or the any segment of society. So this is very important. Then let's see the example of these were the main feature of a social responsibility theory about the mass media. So then let's see example of social responsibility theory. I put some examples. So reports of health news in the media can be taken as media acting socially responsible. Like nowadays is very good example that media should be very, very responsible, should take extra care to not give you wrong information about this coronavirus. So media give information and awareness on the health problem. They should tell you what to do, what to not do, but it should be very authenticated, not like you call someone and doesn't know anyone and just you're talking, because people take this kind of information very seriously and maybe they are acting or maybe they are not acting upon that. So it's very important. So it also provides awareness on some basic health problems like diarrhea or cure, and them, and diarrhea is giving example, but here any kind of epidemic, they should give the media gives information about epidemics and the health hazards like I just explained you. And hence and here acting responsible is by not spreading wrong news and panic. So it's very important. Sometimes it is still going on discussion here. It is another controversial discussion, or is a ethical, which is right or which is wrong. Sometimes they gave you the news which create the panic. It's like they are showing pictures of some dead bodies which are not somewhere else, but some people say no, we have to tell them to people that to show them the seriousness of this epidemic or pandemic. So this is this is another discussion. Then example continue. Then there has been instances of mass panic among the people because some misunderstood news on the health published by the various media. I already explained to you. Also, advertising at harmful substance like cigarette and alcohol are considered to be wrong according to the social responsibility theory. It is very important, but cigarette is already banned in Pakistan, and also we cannot give the we never gave the any attachment about alcohol. So reporting on the performance of government institutions and unveil tyranny and corruption by the media is also an example of socially responsible media, as media acts like a critic of government. So they have to give a true picture of performance of the government institutions, and they should be based on some research and some data and some information. And if there's any tyranny, mean any authoritarian or corruption or any mishandling of people, they should. And we watch every day in our different televisions these kind of things. So the next is, but there are times when the media has severely damaged the reputation of some politicians and political parties through irresponsible journalism, leading to major conflict in the society. So again, on one side we are giving you our freedom to criticize, but ruining someone is reputation without any reason is also for this reason we have courts, and we can go to the courts and take people if there's something and they have to prove their allegations. Then strength. Okay, then we will talk about these theories. We are going to do the analysis of this theory in the two parts. In the second part, in the two parts, is what is the good things about that social responsibility and what is not good things about the social responsibility of this social responsibility theory, because every theory got the some good points and some not good points. So in this, it helps in avoiding conflict during war and conflict. So if we follow the social responsibility theory, like if we have fight with the or we have war with some countries, which we have sometime, all time. So this, if they are this media is behaving socially responsible, then it may be there will be less conflict among in the society, because then we will be on same page to fight our external enemy. It accepts public opinion and work for the citizen. Of course, according to this theory, they should the media should accept the public opinion. Like when you are writing a letter to newspaper, in editorials letters, so they should publish it. If we are calling some TV stations and telling your point of view, so they should publish that, or they should broadcast that. So they should televise that. Yeah, of course they have to take some precautions, that not using bad things, or not just abuse or something. But even sometime we have seen this kind of thing. Press and media houses do not have monopoly, as rules and ethics guide them. Yeah, monopoly is but monopoly is very important thing in every business. So in Pakistan there are no antitrust law. This is another thing, that one media houses are owing a lot of things, so they can and they have, because they have no more money, so they can influence you more. So this is but it happened in capitalistic societies. So this is also one of the ills of the capital society, that who have more money, who have more, so they can hire better people, better technology, and to influence you, and then even influence the government, and even influence the self-regulatory bodies they have, because they have more people in that. The media publishes truth due to regulatory activities and their moral obligation to do so. Yes, according to this theory, they should work according to their activities should be regulated, and they have a moral obligation. Yellow journalism, it is another word. Yellow journalism mean I want to be yellow. So yellow journalism mean what that mean is. It means when you are not talking fairly, it is you are not very fair with the things, with the people. So, journalism is talking according to their own objectives or their personal interest, or they call vested interest. So decreases as media can be questioned by the law and public. So you should be very careful, because if you are talking wrong, so people can talk against you, or maybe they will abandon your station, or you're not buying your newspaper. This is a pluralism and diversification in news and people involved. So according to this theory, there should be pluralism we talk about, and the voiceless and the marginalized people are able to raise their voice. So according to this theory, theory, people who don't have voice and people who are like on the lower level of society should have can raise their voice to talk. So these were some few of the strong point of this theory. Then we talk about the weaknesses of social responsibility theory. Ethics are always vague. Yeah, this we know with the first from the first lecture. Vague mean they are not very clear. So you should be very careful about that because like I talk, maybe one statement is good for me and one group of people is like it and one group of people don't like it. Ambiguous, yes, it is not very clear. So it's same thing. And differ from case to case. Yes, you cannot set the standards uh, for anything, especially in the regarding social responsibility of the media. It is difficult to determine who set clear principles and standards. Yeah, government, self-regulation, regulatory body, and who are personally. So this is another difficult. Social responsibility and ethics are normally obligatory things. Obligatory things mean you have to do it. So I don't know, you can do it or is obligation is not like legally bound. So this is another thing. Then so this is another thing. Then okay, let me see, I'm highlighting any form of legal limitation should not be imposed if the media is just working in the principle of responsibility. So but what is the principle of responsibility? That is also controversial. Laws are authoritative and not democratic concepts. So putting the law generally is not good thing for any democratic country. So it is better that people will be themselves should be responsible for that. But it is again it is maturity of the maturity of the society. If you are more mature, you will be more responsible. Like in our personal life, as you becoming more mature, more age, you become more responsible. But in our I always talk that let our media should be independent or freed, but let them talk in the in the free market. If they talk bad, but here things are not still. We have just started the freedom of press, and one day will come, maybe we will be fed up, because in a lot of countries people don't even listen them. So that's another thing. So last part, like I told you, is a conclusion of this. Like I already talked about few yes and no's of this thing theory. So what is the concept of social responsibility in the media is to assess specifically which aspects of current media regulation legislation pertain to issue of social responsibility and how they have been applied. Yeah, this application and which law should be applied is a problem, is difficulty. The main challenge for former regulator of media ethics lies in the fact that defining the nature of social responsibility is, like I say, very controversial. It is vague, it is ambiguous, it's not very clear. In the context of the media's role in society is an overly qualitative and normative moral task. So it is, you cannot give them by the law, because if you regulate the things by law, it's become like they might lose their freedom. So there's another thing. Attempt at effective regulatory or co-regulatory frameworks are still in making. Yeah, it is still, people are busy in making that, because it is very controversial. So it will, I don't think it will take, but it will take time. And like maturity, I said, struggle with the difficulty in setting clear principle and boundaries for what should be expected or permitted by the law in terms of social responsibility in the media. So we sometimes problem is that sometimes we bring those model from West. They have some good things and they are not some good thing, but mostly if we follow the Western model, it has very good things, especially the laws of defamation. If you say something wrong, you can get the court. So that way people, your the media becoming more responsible to legal. So anything I'm saying, I should have proof for that. Otherwise, I should not say this thing on the TV, because if I'm saying, we are hurting someone's reputation. So it's very important. Then, as many fields of law, prospects of a universal juridical framework to enforce social responsibility in the media are still scarce and insufficient. We don't have much law to implement in the social responsibility in the media. So in the meantime, many in favor of self-regulation would argue that initiative toward implementing such type of cohesive structure are altogether undesirable in the first place. So some people want total freedom. They don't want any rules and any regulation. They're saying there is no need to make any rule and regulation for social. So this is, again, I'm leaving this to you, that what should we do? We should leave the media independent, or without anything, or just tell, and we hope that people who are in the media, they are socially responsible, and they are, they know what they are doing. So again, because as we know, in ethics, there's nothing is there are more than one opinion about same thing. One thing should be, total freedom should be right, total freedom should be wrong, regulatory should be good, or regulatory should be bad. So this is I'm leaving you ethical dilemma to you at the end of this lecture or topic. So you should decide yourself. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press bell icon. Thank you.